All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Tempe DC podcast. Coach Gino here and Mark as well. Mark, give him a shout.
What's up, everyone?
Man, and today we got a special episode today. We're going to be talking about our 5-year anniversary. Now, can you believe it? All those years gone already. It's just, man, time flies when you're having fun, I guess. 5 years gone by real quick. And this is 5 years at the location at Washington Street. So 10th Planet Daly City's been at that location for 5 years. Tonight, we're having a little celebration at the gym. We're going to have a good time, a little open mat, a little potluck. Hopefully all you guys can come by and enjoy with us. So today, just wanted to talk about, the last few years and talk about, the humble beginnings of 10th Planet Daly City and kind of reminisce a little bit about the days past. So, I think we were looking at the Washington Street location actually since 2017, late 2017. And, a little bit of the history for you guys who don't know, 2017 was the time when I realized that space was available. And originally that space was Fire in the Ring Boxing. So shout out to Clyde and Jimmy at Fire in the Ring. So they had expanded their location over to that Daly City spot. And it was one of the first and only boxing gyms in Daly City that I could remember of. So I was super excited. My goal was to look for a location for my school at the time, a place to do martial arts. I was actually training out of my garage and it was really a small capacity, but we were looking for a real location. When I heard the boxing gym was coming around, I thought, okay, this is a good opportunity. And maybe there's some space in there that I can figure out to maybe throw some mats down and teach some jiu-jitsu and some Muay Thai. So back in 2017, again, I was on the scout. I was on the lookout for locations. I was just trying to find spots that made sense. I looked at a bunch of locations, some in San Bruno, some in Daly City, some in South City. I was looking at warehouses. I was looking at dental offices that were, I was just looking all over the place. Never found anything that was worthwhile and worth investing in until I came across the legendary Ralph Castro Karate Studio, and we were able to get into that location and start with just, some basic boxing classes. Again, I was helping out the Fire in the Ring program, just teaching some classes. When I arrived over there, I told the coaches that I wanted to help out, and they were all into it. Over time, I mentioned that I think it would be beneficial for the school to add a jiu-jitsu program, and luckily they agreed and they wanted to go that route, and we started entering into getting jiu-jitsu on the schedule. Now, rolling into 2018, again, I was still coaching the boxing classes, and then I started bringing the mats in, and then started talking about making it an official 10th Planet school. Now, it being just a, small, really, I don't know how big that size was, Mark. What size dimension-wise of that first mat? Do you remember?
Man, I don't know, but it was pretty small. It was like the width of a boxing ring.
It was probably like 10 by 10 feet. It was like barely anything. We probably could fit like 8 people comfortably. We did more than that, but like 8 people were comfortable there. Maybe 10 people. 10 people would be comfortable on that mat. But we had to take rotations and everything. So it was really just a small mat. I had taken it out of my single car garage, my business partner Joe's single car garage, and we just laid them all down in that space. And it was just a couple classes. It was free. I was just trying to make it available for people who wanted to come and train some jiu-jitsu in Daly City. And I was really interested in making an official 10th Planet. It wasn't until May when I was able to officially make it a 10th Planet school. So hence we celebrate our anniversaries in May. And this is something that I had always envisioned and dreamed of when I first started 10th Planet, of just thinking how cool it would be to have your own school. Never really intending to have your own martial arts academy, but I thought it'd be really cool. I saw my coach Eddie and all my teammates running their schools, and I just thought that would be a really good opportunity, even if it was just a side gig or a side hustle. Mind you, at this time, I was still working my security job, still really diving into working full-time and part-time teaching and training. And I think over the years, I eventually realized that I could make a living from teaching and training But I had to make that transition slowly over time because obviously bills have to get paid, and I wasn't able to just dive in full fledged into teaching martial arts. Slowly over time, we got in. And we started doing a couple classes a week. And again, just the same schedule, like Tuesday, Thursday, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock that we still have today to this time. And it was really just mellow. Sometimes it would be classes with, 12 guys and it'd be packed on the mat. Sometimes it would just be one. It just depends on the day. Mark remembers the days when it was just one. And Mark, when was remind me again your first time coming into the gym yourself? Mark came in the 2018 crew as well.
So I came with Rich. And
Coach Rich, shout out to Coach Rich.
Shout out Rich. And my first class was a rubber guard class, and I was like, I am never going to use this.
Oh, man.
And somehow I just kept working on it and getting better at it. But yeah, I remember just being like, this is the most, like, I can't do this with my body. This is so hard.
Mark's a rubber guard G right now, man. Mark's killing with the rubber guard, so that's why it's so funny.
Yeah, I was like having such a hard time. I remember calling Rich after the class. I was like, that was a lot of fun. But like,
Rich at the time was a blue belt, right?
Oh,
I think I'm pretty sure he was at least a blue. Coach Rich will probably remind us in time, but Mark was definitely a white belt, and he just had trained a little bit beforehand for how long? Like a couple months.
Yeah, it was like 2 months, and then I re-broke my foot.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Recovering from
Mark was coming in. He was a little heavy back then. I can't lie. He was a little rounder, I'm gonna say, right? Mark, tell him about that first a weight loss. I remember you posted on that early on, like after coming back to jiu-jitsu. How long did it take to cut that weight?
I'm not sure how long, but I was 203 pounds, like the heaviest I've ever been. With the broken foot, it was like the first time I'd ever not been able to move or anything. So I was like eating everything.
And then Mark came in, and just came in consistently, and dropped how many pounds? Like it was to what, 170 you got to?
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I can't remember.
30, exactly. Over 30 pounds, man. And then, again, Mark was one of the first students that I noticed had the dedication and the results were showing. And, with that, along with all the other students that came in, shout out to who else is still around from today. You got John Fan, you got Nate, we got Steven, of course. We've got, all the other guys, Hoppa, Jimmy, and a bunch of those. If I'm not shouting you guys out, I apologize. But we got a good, big crew of guys that are still around to this day. Obviously, people in the past have gone their ways and had to move on, and it's all good. It's all love. But, we have a good, solid foundation from that 2018 crew because I think from that crew, everyone has seen the growth. Everyone's seen the opportunities that have been laid out for us, and you've seen us all continue to climb and get better, not only skill-wise, but, better overall in our lives. We've seen each other grow. We've seen each other, develop and, kind of, that crew in a sense is kind of around the young adult time when I was in my mid-20s, and that was a good time to see the growth of everyone and see how everyone kind of developed, not only again in the jiu-jitsu but in their personal lives. So that crew is a tight-knit crew, and 2018 was a real good time. It was the first year. Again, we were just real small. We were sharing the gym along with Shaolin Kempo, along with Capoeira, along with Fire in the Ring boxing. And we had that little square mat. Quickly outgrew that mat, and we needed to figure out what we were going to do with the space. So the next step, which probably came later in 2018, is we purchased more mats, right? And now with the mat space, again, we were still cautious with expanding because the priority at the time was still the boxing program, and we were doing the jiu-jitsu on the side only a few times a week. But I was able to purchase some more mats, and I was able to over double the space. Remember the black mats came in, Mark? And we would have to roll these mats up every time. And these mats were not meant to be rolled up every time. They were rollable, but they were not Velcro lace. So they were taped together with adhesive tape. So every time we'd roll them up, the adhesive tape would get wrecked, and then we'd have to, roll. It'd take like 3-4 people to roll that thing every class. So it was just becoming like hectic having to roll it up and unroll it, fix the tape, roll it up, unroll it. It was just chaotic. We had more space. We almost tripled the space with those black mats that we added, right? And it was just a huge improvement, able to add more people. We added, I think, a few more classes. I started adding the Muay Thai program as well. And the Muay Thai program really started taking off that time, because we had the right space. And again, we started with the jiu-jitsu. The Muay Thai came in slowly. I started doing the Saturday sessions. I started adding the classes. We had the bags and the equipment from the boxing program, and we were using that all. And, the Muay Thai program was something that I always wanted to start as well. Luckily, us being in a boxing gym, it was pretty easy transition because we had the mitts, we had the bags, we had the boxing equipment. But, adding the Muay Thai element really opened it up for more opportunities for us. So, starting into the late, so going into 2019 and late 2018, we had the Muay Thai taking off for a little bit. We had Jiu-Jitsu taking off. And again, we needed a space that was permanent. We needed a spot that wasn't going to get rolled up every night. And we had to make sure we could make it work so that it was going to be cleanly. Because I'm big on hygiene, making sure that no one's getting skin infections, and we obviously can't roll on the boxing floor when people are walking in with street shoes. It just didn't make sense. We wanted to make sure it was a clean spot, it was efficient, and it made sense. So we decided, instead of tripling that space, we cut some space out, and we decided to use the corner of the gym. And now the corner of the gym, it wasn't as spacious, but we were able to keep it there consistently. The mats were there consistently down, and they were ready to go. And during this time is when we started really seeing some more growth. We started seeing the kids program start to take off more. I think the kids program I had already started to begin with like the early 2018 days. But with that square mat and that small space, we weren't really able to flourish. Once we made that space consistent down there, we were able to provide consistent classes and not have to worry about rolling up the mats every time. Then we were able to expand a lot more with the classes. And then the kids classes started really developing at that time too. We started seeing groups of kids come in together and see the space. They really liked what we were teaching. The jiu-jitsu program was taking off. We added the Muay Thai kids program as well. So, 2019 was a good time. Mark, what do you remember from that little corner spot that we had during those days?
I remember this kid coming in. He's like, "Oh, I watched some DVDs and practicing with my brother." And I was like, "Who's this kid? Already has like really good instincts. He already has like some moves that he knows."
Yes. The infamous introduction of young Logan Sweet T Diaz. Yes. So that was the year Logan came into the gym, and all the students who are familiar with Logan, who is one of our Muay Thai coaches now and Jiu-Jitsu coaches and the kids coach now. He came in age 16, barely over maybe a $105. 105 at max. He was a skinny, young, small kid, and just came in really eager to learn. First day, he tells me, "I want to make this my career," and I'm like, "Okay, interesting. Let's make it happen." I didn't second guess him. I just wanted to see how he would end up moving around. But kid never left. He's been there every day, and was always around, always learning. Never was like. It never was a struggle to get him to train. It was always just like eagerness and a lot of questions. So Sweet Tea came in. We had a lot more guys start to come in. Again, Steven, I think eventually started working in as a manager and then getting into that role in that year as well. He was really growing, and he really dedicated his time to jiu-jitsu. We started seeing all the instructors, John, Mark, and Rich, come up and help out with teaching classes every once in a while too, and growing. We were all young. I was a purple belt when I found the location in 2017. 2018, I believe I got my brown belts. I think, Mark, was it 2018? Do you remember? I think it was 2018 or 2019. But I was still a brown belt during this time. I was a brown belt from that era. And then over time, it became a thing where I just noticed, man, this is really working, and people were signing up for memberships. I was able to, make a good steady income during those times, and I wasn't worried so much about not being able to sustain it. And in that time period in 2019, mid 2019, was the time when I decided to transition into making it a full-time opportunity, a full-time gig. So during that year, I left my security job. I was all in. I decided that let's go. Let's expand the schedule. I started doing the day classes, started to do the 10 a.m.s. I started adding more on the night classes, and really just trying to push to expand and do more. So that exploded 2019. Just me being able to dedicate that much time made the whole place jump and explode. I was there in days. I was there in the nights. I was just teaching nonstop, doing private lessons, doing whatever I could. And that really changed the dynamic of the gym. And I was able to continue and eventually expand again. So I felt every year pretty much we've expanded a little bit more. So 2019, that's when we started seeing the opportunity for more classes for our side, the Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Boxing was having some trouble with keeping our instructors, and I wasn't able to teach boxing full time. So we eventually transitioned into making the whole space, whole boxing area, I should say, a part of the 10th Planet Daily City program with the Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. So we got out of the corner of the gym, we made it to the middle and the basically the full area of the gym, and we matted out the space, and we used all the mats. We got them all out. We ordered some more mats, and pretty much maybe I want to say almost like quadrupled from the original space. Remember that L-shaped, Mark? Like, how would you estimate that was like four times or 5 times at least the size of the original space?
Yeah.
And then we had the ring in the corner pushed out, and it was like a kind of an L-shaped mat. It was, again, another L-shaped mat, not in the corner of the gym though, but on the side. And then that was a fun time. We literally finished that at the beginning of 2020. I think at the beginning of 2020, we had that space, and we had just opened up and created a new space. Lo and behold, 2020 gave us all a little bit of a hiccup, right? And and then we had to shut down, and that was the very scary time. Now, again, mind you, we had just expanded the space. We had just committed to all right, we're gonna take this over. We're gonna increase our rent. We're gonna figure out a way to make ends meet, but we're gonna go for it. We had, I think, 6 a.m.s were starting to jump in. We even expanded the downstairs space in 2019. We had purchased the downstairs space. There was a spin studio that was gone, and we actually took down that downstairs space too. So mind you, we had the downstairs space and we had the upstairs space, and then from there, it became a whole new set of programs, like 6 a.m. yoga classes. We started adding, again, the Muay Thai sessions in the morning and afternoon. And, it was just a lot. And I was ready to go, really pumped up, ready in 2020, but unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to make 2020 the way I envisioned it because of the pandemic. Now, again, mind you, 2020, we had that shut down March, right? The Bay Area shelter in place, SIP. Right, we had the shelter in place, and then that was supposed to be 2 weeks, and just kept getting extended, as everyone remembers, and eventually came to the realization when I was in this period is that after the 2 weeks, during the 2 weeks, I really didn't do much. I was just sitting, waiting around for the place to open up again. Was getting kind of bummed, and I was really getting in a bad space where I was just kind of depressed over not being able to use a space and maximize it. And as time went on, we kind of realized that this wasn't going anywhere. 2 weeks was expanding into a month, into 2 months, into 3 months, and then indefinitely. So we had no idea when we were going to get back into the space. So I had 2 options, right? I had to figure out a new job, a new career thing, leave it in the past and move on, or do what I could do and just figure out whatever way I can train people, whether it be outdoors, whether it be one-on-ones, whether it be online. I was doing whatever I could. We went to the dang park and freaking pulled out a tarp and was rolling on the turf. I was out there kicking trees and showing people how to do Muay Thai technique on the corners and outdoors. And it was just a very interesting time, a time where we were all forced to get creative. We had been going back and forth from going inside the gym in and out, 5% capacity, 10% capacity going in. I had a very select few of clients that still wanted to train, that still wanted to move around, that even whatever capacity they could do it, whether it be on a Zoom call, whether it be at the park. They were down. I was creating content nonstop. It wasn't the greatest quality, mind you, but it was content that I just wanted to show people we were working to try to make it, keep it going. But, during that time, as anyone would expect, membership started to drop off because people just wanted to train in the gym. People wanted to be inside the space. And just having those drop-offs, having people slowly cancel, slowly suspend, people moving away, people having all these things start to just compile on. It really was a challenging time, and I was forced to really sit back and reflect as to whether this was something I really wanted to do. But that was never there was never a debate in my head. I mean, I really, after sitting on it and thinking about it and thinking about my past life working in security and doing all that stuff, it was like, no way I'm going back to that. I was going to stick around. I was going to continue to do this and make it a good time. So again, the SIP era, 2020. Now, 2020, again, it was not very, I wouldn't say it wasn't eventful. It was definitely eventful, but there wasn't a lot of growth at the gym. Obviously, you couldn't do no expansions at the gym. Mark, do you remember being at the gym in 2020?
I remember we had to put newspapers and cardboard to cover the window.
Don't tell. Well, everyone knew that. All businesses, come on now, don't play me now. Everyone knew we had to cover the windows, we had to cover the walls and everything, and we had to train in secret because we're martial artists. We got to train, and at this point, also the Asian hate crimes were rising, and we were all paranoid. We all wanted to figure out a way to continue training and protect ourselves on the streets. So, can you blame us for really trying to continue to train and continue to stay in shape and stay healthy? I mean, we did what we could. We all were taking tests like madmen. We were all like checking our symptoms. We were doing temperature checks, all this, and we were doing whatever we could to the capacity that we were able to maintain. But it became down to a point that we just thought we were going to be living with it for a while. So, I mean, sure enough, 2021 rolls in, and it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of like, okay, it's been a year since the pandemic started. A lot of people were wising up to, all right, maybe this isn't that bad as we thought, but there were still a lot of people who are like, hey, this is the worst thing possible, and like you can't go. So it was a big divide in the community. Some people wanted to train, some people had no interest in it, and it was just really chaotic at the time. But like I said, those who were dedicated, those who stayed true and really wanted to learn, I continued to provide for them because I knew that there was a benefit in training during this time in not only keeping your physical health, but in your mental health sharp and making sure that you're able to have some peace of mind. I mean, training can be therapeutic for a lot of people, and I knew that this was important to keep. And that helped me as well. I mean, in that time, I was not very stable in anything, and I was definitely needing the training and the teaching to keep me in check and keep me on point and make sure I was staying, not only was I staying true to myself, but staying healthy. So 2021, it's funny now thinking about 2021, it was also kind of a blur. I don't remember us doing so much in 2021, but that is the point when we did realize things again started picking up more and more. 2021, we started seeing a little more wiggle room. We started seeing our ability to open up classes and really kind of like dive in, and like we were getting back to like more than 50% capacity, 75% capacity, and you started seeing those things start to climb up. So this was a good time for us because it felt like people were coming back. And the great thing was that there was some people that never left, that stayed true to us, and that like again stayed loyal and helped out where they could. Obviously, those who couldn't because of financial reasons or whatever, I totally understand. But I just super appreciate those who did stay with us and really helped us out through the whole pandemic, because keeping those memberships, keeping that income in, helped us survive, along with the help we got from applying for loans and all that stuff. But we were able to keep it open 2021, and toward the end, we actually saw more growth. People were coming back, and people were paying for memberships again. People were getting back into the swing of things, and we were able to expand a little more. We actually were able. Oh, I forgot to mention, in 2020, we also blew down the wall, right? Wasn't the 2020 we blew down the wall, and then we were able to move that in. So that was early 2019 or 2020. So there was a wall dividing our space, and we blew that down, right? And then 2021 rolled in. We actually completed the full square shape of the mat, and we made it a full square. Instead of it being an L, we moved the ring out to the corner to where we were in 2019. And then we moved our mat space and matted the whole space out for, more classes, more space, more capacity. And that was a really good time. So just knowing that we were able to expand more and get more opportunities for classes was great. 2022 was a month of a bounce back. I feel like 2022, man, we bounced back. There were so many people coming back ready to train, ready to get out of that shelter in place mindset, ready to get out and get back into the world. And we saw massive growth in 2022. And it was really like, awe-inspiring to see how many people really wanted to train and how many people were coming back in full flux. And then, I was getting back to my old routine and all my and everything else. Still had to deal with the mask policies and all those issues with, the county trying to play us back and forth with, capacity limits and all that. But 2022 saw a lot of growth, and we never went back to having to teach at back outdoors at the park again. I mean, 2021 we were back and forth from the park and in the gym. It was just chaotic. But 2022 we pretty much were in the gym the whole year. And it was just a great time. 2022 last year, I feel like it was almost back to normal, and it was just like getting to that point when it was just like kind of people were forgetting that we had just been in such a dire state 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and 2022 started to feel a little normal again. 2022 was really a fun time. We were able to really solidify our programs, really to add more to the schedule. That's when we fully got the tarp out, and we were able to tarp the full gym. I think actually late 2021 is when we tarped out the whole gym, and then 2022 we came in and we had a really good time with that space, and it's just been a great time in 2022. What else happened? Any other events in 2022, Mark, that I'm missing?
The women's class started pumping.
Yeah, women's class. Yeah, awesome. Women's class started adding that to the schedule. The women program started growing. All the women at the gym. Shout out to Coach Joanne, who's been killing it for the women's program. They've been, constant and steady, and now the women are competing now. So, again, 2022, a great year of growth, great year of opportunity. We got the space figured out more. We figured out the schedule more. And now here we are in 2023, 5 years in. We are full-fledged back. We are better than ever right now. And I just want to thank all you guys for the opportunities and everything that you guys have done, the support and everything that I've mentioned before in newsletters and in content and form. But again, I just can't emphasize how much the support means to me and the whole crew and everyone at the gym. We all know that this is a special community. This is a community that really drives us and really motivates us to become better. And that's what it's all about. That's all I've ever wanted from day one, is to have a place where people can come and learn and enjoy their time together, escape the everyday struggles that we deal with outside with work, with family, and just come in, train some martial arts, get better, get healthier, exercise, whatever the case may be. And this is something that I hope to continue moving on to the next 5 years and the next 5 years after that. And I hope we can continue this, this momentum that we're building and just continue to go. I'm confident now, after having gone through the emergency state of the pandemic and really going through that chaos, that we can survive anything. Our team is strong enough to move forward and continue to grow and continue to get better. And we're going to see a lot more opportunities come in the future. We're going to see our fighters grow. We're going to see, shout out to Bryson as well, Coach Bryson, who came in during 2021 that year, and is now, he's killing us for the MMA scene. All the other fighters who are growing and coming up in the PKB scene, and the fighters who are going up in the jiu-jitsu scene, we're all growing and we're all getting better. Coach Stevens and a lot of the guys, Logan, they're all doing pro jiu-jitsu matches, and it's just crazy to see. Like it's all the stuff that I've been envisioning for a long time. We're working with high-level guys. Obviously my coaches, Dave Terrell and Coach Gill. I appreciate them so much for helping out the MMA part of our team. We have the 10P NorCal crew and all those guys, Eddie Bravo, all those guys who've been just down since day one to help us out and help us grow, and all those who've been a part of our team in the past. Even if you're not training with us currently, I appreciate all you guys. All those who have worked with us in the past, I appreciate all you guys. It's just been such a great experience in these last 5 years that I'm so excited to move on to the next step in our journey and see what the future has for us. I mean, who knows? One day maybe we can have some fighters in the UFC. Maybe we can have some fighters in ONE FC. Maybe we can have some guys on ADCC. The sky's the limit here. And as long as I continue to have guys come in to train, I'm going to continue to provide for you guys all my knowledge, everything that I can do, everything in my capacity that I can share with you guys and experience with you guys. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure we continue to get the ball rolling. And that's my promise to you guys. As long as we got it, as long as we have space and we have the opportunity and we have the desire, I'm going to keep providing for you guys and do my best for y'all. 2023, again, we got a lot more exciting news coming. Stay posted. Again, we talked about doing the content for the gym. We're gonna have that up pretty soon. We had some setbacks, so that's why we're just doing getting back on the podcast real quick to give you guys updates on everything. But we're gonna keep it rolling for you guys. We're gonna keep the podcast coming. We got new content coming. Mark's got big stuff coming. I've got big stuff coming for you guys, and we're just gonna keep it pushing, keep it rolling, and have a good time along the way for everyone. So that's all I have for you guys today. Mark, any last things I forgot to mention, or any things you wanted to talk about?
I'm just looking at old pictures, and it's just feeling super nostalgic seeing like all the people from the old
days.
Throw
some of them up here. I'm next to my head, right? If you're on YouTube, you can watch some of these pictures that Mark's scrolling through. It's just like some reminisce of those good old days of us just starting from humble beginnings. Again, that's what I think I'm very proud of, is like none of us envisioned us getting to this point, and that now that we're here, we're just got to make the best out of it. So we'll continue, like I said, to provide, and we'll continue to have a good time and enjoy the process and journey along the way. So that's all. Again, hope to see you guys tonight at the 5-year anniversary. If I don't, again, you're there with us in spirit, and we'll continue to celebrate as the years go by and enjoy these milestones. So hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Subscribe, comment, all the good stuff, and let us know if you guys want to hear anything else. Other than that, keep it going with the training. Train hard, stay consistent, and I'll see you guys later.